for about 22 years. And prior to joining WPA, I ran a £30 million insurance brokerage. I decided that I didn't want to work in London anymore, and I really wanted a life. That was when I was about 39. And I looked at what were the different things that I could basically do. I knew I had a set of core skills, and I knew that I'd been very successful running other people's businesses, so I decided to take the plunge and look at running mine. About a couple of years before, I'd been to a franchise show and I picked up some information on WPA at that time. So it took me then a couple of years to make that decision to do it. I chose franchising really for the main reason being that what I really love doing and what I generally tend to be good at is out meeting customers and looking after them, and that's the fun bit of it for me. With WPA, what they do is they do all the back office. So they issue all the policy documentation, they pay all the claims. My role merely is to make sure that that's being done. So my job really is all about going out and meeting customers and looking after them. I had really good training. Obviously, I do come from an insurance background, which is a help. Having said that, on our stand we've got a footballer, somebody who worked in franchising before, and a chef. So it just shows you the different types of franchisees that you can have. We get a week's worth of training, which was really, really helpful. That covered all the major things that we needed to know, because that is a compliance-led business. And then you get a mentor for the next 2 years, and the mentor is invaluable. I didn't necessarily need one to help me go out and do pitches, but there were certain things that came up where it was very useful to ask those questions. The hardest thing for me was actually managing the process of not having a salary, because I was so used to having a very large salary come in every month. So actually for me the biggest challenge was budgeting and making sure that I got enough money set aside to see me through probably the first 12 months. I'm now 4 years into my franchise and I don't have to worry about money anymore. My advice to someone who's thinking about taking on a franchise is always make sure, obviously Graham mentioned earlier, he had guaranteed revenue. Not all franchises come with that. Make sure you've got enough money set aside to see you through the first 12 months of your franchise, because that way you never desperately sell anything, and people buy from people who are relaxed, not people who are desperate to sell. Go and really research it as well. So I did a lot of due diligence on my franchise partner, so WPA, and I also went out and saw some other franchises as well. And you know, that was really, really useful to crystallise and meet other people. And another piece of advice I'd give you is meet some of the franchisees who have failed and ask them why they did it. Why did it go wrong for them? So meet the really good ones, meet the people who didn't do so well, because that's interesting to understand also. I would definitely do it again. I'm in this for really the next 10 years. My plan is then to sell my business, and I hope to realise around about 200 grand at that time, whereupon I will buy a motorhome and travel around the world. That's it for me.